Assalamu alaikum. What is the correct way to discipline your children? And is it okay to physically and emotionally beat your children?
What's the proper way of disciplining your children? And is it permissible to physically and emotionally beat your children? We say that disciplining the child is similar to other social issues or issues of family structure in Islam. There are general rules, general guidelines, and many things, if not most of the things, are left unmentioned. There's no detail. It's left unmentioned. وَبِالْوَالِدَيْنِ إِحْسَانًا. Treat your parents kindly and dutifully. That's it. There's certain things that are mentioned, such as giving sadaqah on their behalf, respecting and honoring their friends after they pass. فَلَا تَقُلْ لَهُمَا أُفْ. Don't talk back to them. But there are many other things that aren't mentioned. Everybody understand this? There are many things that aren't what? That aren't mentioned. A husband and a wife. Clothe her when you have clothes. Feed her when you have food. Don't hit her in the face. Don't leave the house and boycott her. Don't say, قَبَّحَكِ May Allah make you repulsive. You're horrible. You're filthy. You're ugly. You're this. You're that. You're fat. You're stupid. Many brothers, they do this on a daily basis. They curse at their wives. And they give them all types of emotional damage. So that's clear. But there are other things that aren't mentioned. There are other things that aren't mentioned. Certain things that are left up to the custom of the people. The custom of the what? Of the people, as long as that custom and that tradition does not go against kitab, sunnah, and ijma'. Al-adatu muhakkama. One of the 5 maxims of the deen is that the custom takes precedence. It's the judge. As long as it is not against what? The kitab and the sunnah. And it's the custom of the people. So therefore, in my country, we discipline our children like this. We tap the child on the hand. In my country, we don't hit children, so on and so forth. As long as it's not against the kitab and the sunnah, then you're free to do what you want to do regarding the discipline of your children. Everybody understand this? So Allah tells us, قُوا أَنفُسَكُمْ وَأَهْلِيكُمْ نَارًا. Protect yourselves and your families from the fire. Some of the Sahaba, the Tabi'een, the Salaf as-Salih said, أَدِّبُوهُمْ وَعَلِّمُوهُمْ. They said, give them adab, teach them manners. Spiritually discipline them. Teach them the deen. Teach the child the Quran about truthfulness, honesty. Eat with your right hand. Drink with your left hand. Drink with your right hand. Wear hijab, and the list goes on. Sit down when you drink. Don't defile yourself when you use the bathroom. Different things like this. But everything is not mentioned in detail in the Kitab and the Sunnah. And it goes back to the custom of the what? Of the people. Everybody clear on this? So we have general guidelines. Letting the child run, play, race is a sort of Yusuf. They said to their father, let us take Yusuf, let us run, let us race. Nastabiq. That's one thing. But there are other things which aren't mentioned. As far as physical discipline, beating, or emotionally beating, we say emotional beating or hitting or discipline. What's meant by that? If you mean, I have 4 children. 3 of them memorized the Quran they were supposed to. And one of them wanted to play around and laugh and joke. All 3 of them, they're going to go to the ice cream parlor or the toy store or the playground. And this one child, you got to stay home. And your dinner tonight is bread and water or broccoli, a plate of spinach. They come home with big, fat, dripping ice cream cones, spilling everywhere, licking the ice cream cone on the side of their hands, big boxes of toys. And he has a plate of spinach and what's the word? Brussels sprouts, artichoke, and water and bread. No doubt, that's going to emotionally do what? No doubt about that. Psychological warfare. No doubt. His ice cream is spilling on the floor. 2-3 scoops, you got a plate of greens and water. Why? Because you didn't do what you're supposed to do. I gave you clear instructions. It wasn't too much. You wanted to play. You wanted to laugh. You wanted to be a horse around. You don't get nothing special. Okay? That's discipline. That's not physical. It may be emotional. I'm happy with these 3. I'm upset at you. If that's what you mean, then that's one thing. There's nothing wrong with that. And the child has to be taught from a young age, not old, from a young age. They must learn that life is based off of sacrifice. It's based off of choosing. You can have fun. You can do whatever you want. But you can't have fun and do what you want to do and get the special treats that the other. No, it does not work like that, son. At a young age. If you want to be stubborn, you want to be a fool, that's fine. But you're not going to be rewarded. You may not be punished, but you're not what? Going to be rewarded. So if that's what you mean by that, then that's one thing. If you mean by cursing at the child spit it in at the child, you're nothing, you're a loser. As people say overseas, anta yani shaitan, shaqi. Say this. They say it like it's nothing. They say you're wretched. Huh? Anta shaqi, shaqi. Am I making this up, Adam? They make things say things what? Allah yakhrimish. Baytek. Huh? I'm making this up, Adam, or not? They may say all types of things to their children. Anta ashqa, well, anta kada. How do they say these things? Then that's no, you can't do that. You're not to abuse people like that verbally and destroy them emotionally. But showing them the righteous way and the wicked way, the rewards of the righteous way, the rewards of the wicked way. If there's some type of discipline, emotionally, psychologically, there's no doubt about that. And they have to be taught, and it must be instilled in the child, not later on, at a young age. This is what happens when you do good, and this is what happens when you do bad, or when you don't do good. Everybody clear on this? As far as physically disciplining the child, then I don't know of any hadith that prohibits a parent from physically disciplining their children. There's some of the people who say that you shouldn't physically discipline your child because the hadith says, وَضْرِبُهُمْ عَلَيْهَا وَهُمْ أَبْنَاءُ عَشْرٍ, beat them when they're 10. And the Prophet didn't say beat them before they're 10. He only said beat them for the salah. So that's la. لَيْسَ فِيهِ دِلَالَةٌ لَا دِلَالَةَ فِيهِ. There's no proof in the hadith saying that you cannot physically discipline your child. So the physical discipline of the child is going to be something based off of you, your personality, and your culture. There's some people who feel, I would never put my hands on my child, period. It's wrong, it's abuse, it's destructive. I'm not here to say who's right and who's wrong. There's some people who hold the exact opposite value, and they consider it to be absolutely ludicrous for a child not to get a spanking or whooping or get their hand tapped for breaking and destroying and disrespecting people, especially in the masjid in the class. They consider it ludicrous for the child not to get a beating. That's different values. Do we have a hadith that says you can and cannot beat your child? Don't beat your child. The hadith does not say don't beat your child illa hum abna'u ashar. It does not say unless they're 10. It doesn't say that. But it instructs the parent to do that at the time of 10 for the salah. It has nothing to do with anything else. Age other than the salah. Everybody understand this? Obviously, those who do say you can't beat your child, you can't physically discipline your child, it has to be a balance. It has to be a balance. The child is to be beat or physically disciplined, not for your revenge. With many parents, they do this. They do this. Brothers and sisters, they allow the child to do whatever they want to do. No discipline, spoil the child to death. And when a child doesn't listen or embarrasses them or breaks them something, breaks them something that's very costly or expensive, they go wild on the child. And they just beat the heck out of the child. Didn't I tell you to do this and that? Obviously, that's not discipline. That's revenge. You're taking out your rage against the child, and that should not be done. If you're going to beat your child, the only purpose of beating the child is to straighten the child. That's it. To physically teach them the rewards and the fruits of what you did. And when the child is beaten, the child is not to be abused, even though that's a vague term. Some people, they consider this. They say that's abuse. They'll take you to court, take your child from you. This is a reality. Okay? Al-Muhim is that when you do beat your child, you're not supposed to break any bones. You're not supposed to leave bruises, with exceptions to something that they say is necessary. If you spank your child in the behind, they get a bruise. It's not something a whelp or cut, but everybody understand what I'm saying to you? There's a balance in this. It's a balance. And every time you discipline your child, it shouldn't be physical. If you believe that it's okay. No one or no viewer say, I said to beat your children. I said, if you. Everybody understand this? If you physically feel that it's okay to physically discipline your child, that's what you feel, that's what you think, then it shouldn't be every single time. Because some children, they become immune to the beatings. It's, oh, big deal, put on my pants, okay, and I'm back to doing what I want to do. So you have to diversify your discipline. Whether it's taking things from them, preventing things, whatever the case may be. Embarrassing them, whatever it needs to be done to get them to stop doing that bad deed. And most importantly is to tell the child, I'm only reminding you and I'm only enforcing. You have to do what's right yourself, son or daughter, because I'm not going to be around, but Allah sees you. You got to make the right decision. I'm only beating you to physically remind you of the right decision and the fruits and the consequences of doing or not doing so. So this is a very important concept here, all right? The concept of abuse, going extreme. You have to diversify your approach. Last but not least is the issue of disciplining children when they get of a certain age. Your daughter is not 2 years old or 3 years old or 5 years old. She's a grown woman now. She has the body of a woman. You can't do it's not the same. Your son is big now. He's 12, he's 13. Those beatings are not doing anything for him. Everybody understand this? And this is also from the harms of single parent homes. Single parent homes, broken homes, fragmented homes. A woman is grown, the child is 13, 14. She tries to hit him and say, but it doesn't what? He laughs at her literally. And it's not the same as a man. Even if the man doesn't put his hands on the child. The tone, the authority, it's a difference. That's why Islam is a complete system. It's a complete system. So if you do physically discipline your child, all of these things have to be taken into what? Hey, wallahu ta'ala alam. This will conclude our Q&A session tonight. Jazakumullahu khairan.